5:07, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. How are you, friends? Time for the Friday edition along with Johnny B, Ken Weaver. And I'm hitting send post right now on the @Dan Show Twitter feed.
Yeah.
There it goes. There is a guy, have you seen this? Venezuelan, who is gone viral. He is on TikTok, and he is telling his compadres in Venezuela how to basically squat in homes here in America.
Mi gente, he pensado invadir una casa en United States.
I'll help you out here. Basically what he's saying is that he is telling Venezuelans, and he lives in Ohio, near Columbus, Ohio, and he is on TikTok, and he is telling folks in Venezuela and basically across the world, come to America. Find a home that is abandoned or empty. Maybe people have gone on vacation. And all you need to do is change the locks and inhabit the home. And then you get to stay in the home for months on end. That's what this guy is saying. Yeah. From the New York Post, Venezuelan national Leonel Moreno, who appears to live in a suburb of Columbus, Ohio, said in a recent video that under U.S. law, if a house is not inhabited, we can seize it. Now, this is making massive news, not only, of course, across America, but across the world for a number of different reasons. Number one is because it's been viewed 4 million times. This is yet another reason why people are going to now come to America. Now, according to the New York Post, and again, if you want to see the video and you want to read the story, go to the Dan Mandis Twitter feed @Dan Mandis Show. But they say that he appeared to be referring to adverse possession laws, commonly known as squatters' rights. And by the way, the reason why I'm so irritated with this story is because, as you folks, if you've been listening to me for any length of time, you know that I have some experience in this department, where I had a squatter living in my home in Los Angeles, and it took me months to get her out. It's the same thing. And squatting stories have been all over the news lately. There is a story out of Queens that in the last couple of days, a woman actually got arrested for walking into her home. It is $1 million home in New York. And she's got these squatters living there, and she goes in, tries to change the locks and get them out, and she got arrested. And now you've got this Venezuelan national Leonel Moreno basically telling all of his homeboys in Venezuela and elsewhere, come to America and just break into homes and squat. Because these laws, well, they're not really, I mean, there is no law really, depending on the state. This is all a state issue where you could just squat in somebody's home for months at a time. And then the homeowner tries to get you out and the homeowner gets arrested. I mean, that is actually going on across America right now. And now this dude is, sounding the alarm and telling people, hey,
Mi gente,
if you want to come live and take over and steal Americans' homes, come on out. The border's wide open. Biden's border is wide open. Come take America's homes. It is horrible. It is absolutely horrible. And now people are pointing to this video and realizing that, yeah, they can very easily come to America and take over our homes. If we go on vacation, there's been a slew of stories out there where people are fixing up their homes. Maybe their parents died and they're renovating the home because their parents rented for like 20, 30, 40 years. And so the home is being renovated. Workers go in to fix it. And then all of a sudden they realize, hey, this is an empty home. And it gets taken over. One of the other things that's going on is, these homes, they're listed on, realtor.com or whatever. And you can tell in the pictures that the homes are not being lived in. And so they come in, they get the address, they come in and they just take the home. And so now this is a very big story this morning because the reality is that we have a situation in this country where Biden has let all of these people in. By the way, this guy, Lionel Moreno, he also made headlines last month by urging his compatriots, and this dude's got like 500,000 TikTok followers. He has previously shared videos bragging about earning money by begging on the streets while collecting government handouts. He also made headlines last month by urging his compatriots to throw their support behind 15-year-old Jesus Alejandro Rivas Figueroa, who was charged as an adult, guy's 15, who was charged as an adult with attempted murder for allegedly shooting a tourist in Times Square and firing on cops. And he is urging his 500,000 followers to support this guy, again, 15 years old, for shooting a tourist in Times Square and firing on police. He says, I invite you to look for his mother and all of us to pay the bail so that this young Venezuelan feels that you're not alone in difficult times, he said, but remembers that there is a God up there who sees today. It could be him. Tomorrow, it could be you. He did something wrong. It's okay, Moreno said in a viral February 12th video on TikTok. So basically, he says that it is okay to fire guns at tourists and fire guns at police officers. Because, you know, today it was him. Tomorrow, it could be you firing on tourists and police officers. And it's okay. This is what Joe Biden is letting into our country. Yeah, just in the news the last couple of days, this woman in Queens shows up at her own home trying to remove squatters, and she herself gets arrested. It is an amazing story, and that's one of those stories that most certainly has gone viral. There was a guy in Georgia, and this made news a couple of weeks ago. He's in Georgia, and his mother passes away. And so he's trying to, it's just like what I was saying, this guy is trying to renovate his home that his mother left to him. And these three dirtbags basically move into the home.
You didn't sign any lease with them.
No, they had it on their phone, so she didn't even have like a actual lease
document.
Yeah, it was clearly like fake.
He called police and filed a complaint alleging use of a fraudulent lease. But police told him there was little they could do. In Georgia, police can't remove squatters. It's a civil matter.
And so these stories are becoming more and more evident. This poor guy, you know, again, he inherits the house from his mom. He spends all of this time and all of this money renovating it so that he can put it up for rent. And these guys, these dirtbags just move in.
So they're in here?
Yeah, they are in there.
No one came to the door. Later, I tried to speak with two men going into the house. They didn't have much to say.
As I spoke to the owner, he says that you moved in here illegally. You have no lease. You've changed the lock, you broke, and you have a lease. Do you have any comment about that? Do you have any comment? He says you're trespassing in his house.
Jesus is coming soon.
Yeah, you heard that right. He says Jesus is coming soon. That's what the guy said.
Jesus is coming soon.
There you go. Jesus is coming soon. That was in his answer. Now, the worry, of course, is that, and this is what happened to me, is they'll trash the place, destroy the plumbing, destroy the kitchen, pull up the floorboards. You know, just your worst case scenario. Woman in my house back in LA, those many years ago, poured cat litter down the toilet. Yeah, she had like 30. If you haven't heard the story, this woman had like 30 plus cats in my house. Not all of them were alive. And the whole place just stunk of cat litter and cat urine and all that kind of stuff. Cat crap too, same thing. Woman was clearly mentally ill. But see, here's the thing, is that now, and you know, I hate to say it, but you listen to this guy and you can hear that he's got some sort of an accent.
Jesus is coming soon.
Jesus is coming, you know, it's like some sort of I don't know where the guy's from, but you got this Venezuelan basically calling, again, all of his friends and compadres to come steal our homes. And listen, I'm not trying to sound like some, oh my God, racist, no, what I'm saying, this is a fact. This is a fact. I am sounding the alarm and thousands of other people are sounding the alarm on this Venezuelan, sounding his alarm to tell his friends to come here to take our homes. If we're on vacation, if we're gone for a few days, they can come in and change our locks. And there's very little we can do about it. Now, luckily in Tennessee, it is a lot easier to take care of somebody squatting in your home than in some of these Democrat-run cities. And I'm just going to tell you that, again, this is happening in sanctuary cities especially. So there's a guy who's called a squatter hunter, and he helps people deal with this type of stuff. I love what he does. And his name is Flash Shelton. And they did a little piece on him for Fox Digital.
Regardless of how you feel politically or morally about the situation, put that aside and just think about the masses. Just think about all of these people coming into the country. We don't have enough housing. We don't have enough resources to handle the people that we have living on the streets today. We have irresponsibly opened a door for a whole lot of people to come into this country, and we aren't prepared to deal with them. So what are we going to do when the squatter is no longer the criminal, but just somebody trying to survive?
There you go. And see, isn't that what's happening right now? That last part when he said, what happens when the squatter is no longer the criminal and is just somebody trying to survive? We're at that place now. Because you have all of these people that are breaking into our country, breaking our immigration laws, crossing our border illegally, and the left is out there saying, oh, they're just looking for a better life. And that's what's going on. You've got tens of millions of these illegals that are living in the streets, and they're living in these migrant shelters as well. What's going to stop them from going to any number of apps online and finding vacant homes that are for sale and just coming in and setting up camp? Nothing. Because there's really no penalty other than having to vacate, but not before they've destroyed your life and you have to spend thousands of dollars on legal fees getting them out of your home.
What's the negative for these people to then start taking over these houses? When they start finding this out, our squatter situation is going to go beyond control. Right now, we can prove that squatters are criminals and they are people that are literally just working the system.
Absolutely. They are working the system. That is exactly what's going on.
Think about this. What are we going to do later when we have 1 million people squatting in this country? What are we going to do at that point when not only do we have a border issue that we can't even figure out right now, and now we have people that have taken over homes of people that are now being mentally, financially, physically messed with because they've lost their home to all of these people? What are we going to do at that point? Is that going to be the point where we change the law, and then when we change the law, we don't have the resources to do anything about it anyway?
Yeah, think about it. Because just the other day, we told you the story yesterday morning about how Biden shanked the paperwork for 200,000 of these illegal aliens coming into our country, and now you don't know where they are, right? That was a big story yesterday. We did talk about it. Well, we have a border situation right now, which we clearly cannot control. We can't handle the paperwork. We don't have the judges. We don't have the attorneys. Now, these same people, these illegal aliens, are now going to take over our homes when we go on vacation or when you have a vacant home. Here's the thing that I will tell you. If you're renovating your house and you move into, some other home, it's a parent's home, whatever it is, and you inherit the house, and we're not going to be able to handle, from a legal standpoint, all of these situations. And so I would implore you, and I'm never going to announce or post on Facebook that I'm going out for, any length of time, because I don't want my house taken over by a bunch of illegals, a bunch of squatters, illegal or otherwise, frankly, because there's squatters in this country who are legal citizens as well. So my official recommendation to you is don't ever say that you're going on. And I know people have told me this before, and now I'm going to listen. Don't ever announce on social media that you are going on vacation, because if they see it, they can find your house, they can get in your house, they can change the locks, and you are absolutely screwed. Now, again, the laws are better here in Tennessee. However, you still need to do whatever you can to avoid this from happening.